Collaborative observation and feedback is another useful tool for the reflective practitioner. Teachers collaborating are a form of active participation in reflective practice, and there are definite benefits from collaborating with others in a process of continuous learning. And we can see that continuous learning through teachers collaborating actually forms part of a cycle, and this cycle is focused on particular aspects within the process of observation. And we can see that step 3 of this 5-step cycle is about observing and collecting of evidence, and this is the key point where teachers collaborating come together. It's at this point where evidence is collected of processes and practices, where observation is used as a means for that collection, and it continues every time through this cycle as part of the process of reflection and evaluation. Observations are one more source of evidence for the reflective practitioner, and this forms a significant part of feedback for the reflective practitioner in terms of promoting professional growth and development. And we can see clearly how observation and collection of evidence fits into the cycle, and where teachers can collaborate on this particular aspect of reflective practice. Where the teacher is observing somebody else in the classroom, or where somebody is observing the reflective practitioner, there are certain things that can be looked at. For example, things like the level of student engagement, the ability to manage the classroom environment, and how to differentiate instruction for different learners in the class. Outside the classroom, what can be observed are how colleagues participating, collaborating with each other, whether that's in meetings or whether it's more informally. It can also be about how individuals are engaging with the community as a whole and with families. And so there are certain principles that we need to consider in terms of collaborative observation as a process for reflective practice. And these are that observations must be frequent, so that learning is always ongoing. They must be focused on particular aspects of practice rather than just general observations. They must be varied as well, so that they don't fall into an habitual process. And they must include useful and timely feedback. And what can happen in observations is that we take notes as reflective practitioners and focus on particular aspects of the teaching using a quick shorthand to explain or define particular aspects of our observation. And it's through this shorthand that we get a focus through the writing on things that we need to consider. Here we can see that the teacher, identified by T, is focusing on aspects of learning, FFL, and also lesson delivery. And it's this aspect, along with the amount of time that this reflection takes place in, that becomes a very, very useful tool for reflection. So what happens in terms of collecting evidence through this process is that there's paraphrasing perhaps of short quotes to convey particular interactions, although there would not be the direct word-for-word account of what is being said. And the coding helps focus attention on the content of that paraphrasing. So teachers collaborating is a means for the reflective practitioner to get feedback, and it's important that feedback is focused on particular aspects of the observation. It also needs to be evidence-based. The feedback should be grounded in what has been observed and the evidence for that. And also, of course, feedback should be constructive. It should help the individual teacher reinforce effective practice and develop areas of weakness. And of course, finally, feedback should be timely. It should occur soon after any observation so that connections can be made with the information from the feedback process and the activity in the classroom.